with him. "Can't leave," Trap said, low, decisive. Not that he didn't want to leave, Wyatt noted. Trap said can't. There was a big difference. He told Wyatt he was looking for Cayenne, the woman he'd rescued from certain death, but knowing Trap, that was so far out of his reality that Wyatt hadn't really believed him. But now... Trap. Wyatt kept his voice low, steady, his gaze on one of his closest friends. Trap was a very dangerous man. He didn't look it, sitting there, legs sprawled out in front of him, his chair tipped back and his eyes half closed, but there was ice water running in his veins. More, he had a brain that worked overtime, calculating everything even as he observed the minutest detail of his surroundings. He had a steady hand and the eyes of an eagle. He was silent and deadly when he stalked an enemy, and he was known to go into an enemy camp alone, death drifting in and the reaper drifting back out. He killed without a sound and thoroughly, taking out the enemy without raising an alarm. When he returned, he was the same exact man, cool and remote, his brain already moving on to solve another problem. Trap raised those piercing, glacier-cold eyes to his. An icy shiver crept down Wyatt's spine. "I've known you for years," Wyatt continued. "You get caught up in problems, Trap, problems that need solving. Your brain just won't let it go. This woman is a problem. That's what this is." Trap sighed. "You know better. You, of all people, know better. You don't become obsessed with women. Hell, Trap, you hook up for an hour or two and then you walk. Not a night, an hour or two at the most." Trap didn't deny it. "I'd fuck 'em and then walk away because I don't need the entanglement, but I need the release." He stated the fact mildly, unashamed, uncaring. "This woman is a problem to solve to you, that's all she is. This has nothing to do with the woman herself, just a mystery of her. You have to know that." Wyatt's Cajun accent was becoming more noticeable, the only thing that betrayed his wariness. Trap's expression didn't change. His icy gaze didn't leave Wyatt's face as he took a long pull on the beer and set it down. "You grew up in that family of yours, Wyatt. You got your grandmother, sweet and kind. You had all this." He gestured toward the swamp where Wyatt had grown up. "Running wild, living the life, having a family. You know what that's like." Wyatt remained silent. Trap never talked about his past, not ever. They'd met in college when they were both still teens and worked together on numerous projects that made both of them very wealthy. Wyatt had joined the service and ultimately the GhostWalker psychically enhanced Special Forces unit. Trap had followed. In the years they'd known each other, Trap had never once alluded to his past. He sounded like he was gearing up to do just that, and Wyatt wasn't about to blow the opportunity to learn more about what had made his friend as cold as ice. He simply nodded, keeping his gaze just as steady on Trap's, mesmerized by the blue flame that burned ice-cold under the glacier. "I had 2 sisters and a brother. Did I ever tell you that?" Trap's fist tightened around the neck of the beer bottle, but he didn't lift it to his mouth. "My name wasn't Dawkins back then when I had them. It was Johansson." He said the name like there was a bad taste in his mouth. "Changed it legally in order to keep that shit out of the spotlight, to keep my enemies from finding me. Didn't work with the enemies, but it did with the press." Had. Wyatt's heart clenched hard in his chest. He regarded Trap as a brother. He had for years. He shook his head slowly. What kid had enemies they had to hide from? Enemies so dangerous they needed a name change. Wyatt remained silent, waiting, letting Trap take his time.